My name is Chuck Harding. I'm an independent filmmaker. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I've been working on film now for about 20 plus years. And I got started in the industry when I was living back on the East Coast, Boston, Vermont, New York area. For the industry itself, I've been pretty much all over the place. I started as an assistant camera person. I've done everything from directing to producing to shooting. So right now I have my own film company. It's called Light Pole Studios, and that has been in place now for about 2 years. And right now I've been concentrating on mainly music videos, and I probably shot about a dozen music videos here locally in town. Up to that point, I was shooting on film, 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter, back east, Vermont, Boston, New York area, and I did probably about a dozen different features as well. So yeah, so I've sort of been the gambit all over the place. A lot of the movies that I've been engaged with, and I've gone anywhere from almost a zero or micro budget productions to multi-million-dollar productions as well. So depending on the project itself, I've done a lot of B movies, a lot of B-level movies. I've had movies that were shown on Mystery Science Theater. So again, it's that horror action genre is what I sort of stay to. So right now I have 3 music videos I'm in the process, and again, from pre-production to editing, and I also am working on a trilogy. It's a compilation of 3 horror shorts that we're putting together that we're packaging for a local distributor here in town. The first one we're shooting, and we start next week, it's called Dead Girl Walking, and it's about true love can't die. And it's about a boyfriend-girlfriend, and the boyfriend's trying to break up with the girlfriend, and she just won't have no for an answer, and he takes it to the next level, and he tries to kill her and knock her off, and she won't die, and he buries her in the backyard, and she comes back to life, and he keeps escalating the ways that he tries to knock her off. So it's a fun sort of comedy relief for horror. It's almost like horror meets Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. So that's probably the best way to approach it. So yeah, and then the second one I have right now, and tentatively we just calling it Heartbreak and Lullabies, and it's basically about a crime scene cleaner that has been approached by a vampire group to clean up after their messes. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking to shoot that here in the next couple months. My preference obviously is to do features, and again, it always depends on money and when the money comes in to be able to make a decent product. So in between then I do the music videos, because again it's short, it's challenging, it's controllable, and you can get in and get out fairly quick, where the features, it does take down a lot of the time to prep, find locations, and get everything coordinated. But I prefer the features long term, where I would go with it. For equipment, like I said, in the past I was shooting everything on film initially, and what I found out is in today's market, with the way that the distributors and a lot of the DVDs are now being sold, with the web, the internet, people on the Juarez sites downloading and taking the material and basic pirating a lot of it. The true filmmaker aspect, I think, from an independent standpoint, you just can't play in the same arena right now, is my concern. Without a big budget, but right now a lot of the distributors aren't pulling the money back in off of that. If you're spending more than $30,000 to $60,000 on a low budget movie, you'll never get a return, and sometimes you won't even get a return on that as well. So film is obviously the true art form, because there's a lot more that entailed to shoot film, from the lighting, from everything. With the digital that's now come up, it's opened up a lot of different avenues for a lot of different filmmakers that didn't have the capability at a lower budget. But right now, with like the Canon 7Ds, the 5D Mark IIIs coming out, the Canon came out with the C300 as well. A lot of lower end equipment is now out there. Red is another one, the Red One. With the lower ended equipment that you can physically get now, it's not costing as much to do a decent product. You don't have to have a big budget. You don't need the Panasonics. You don't need a lot of the higher end equipment to make a good movie anymore. The preference between film and digital right now, and that's where the transition occurred for me, where all my work was done back east up till maybe about 3 years ago, and that's when digital really became really popular. And at that point I was like, okay, here's another avenue that I want to take, just to see what the capability is with the equipment that's out there, and to see if you can get a decent product to be able to sell and market on as well, compared to the high-ended stuff. With film, you got film stock, you got to get it colorized, you got to get it developed, you know, there's a lot more intensive work, where with a lot of the digital equipment that's out there now, you can shoot it and see it immediately. So you can tell a take if you like the take or not, or then you can just reshoot it on the spot. Where with film, you really don't have that the chance. Plus, it's also cost and money associated to shooting it on film. So once you get it developed and you get your dailies back and you look through it, depending if you got it the scene that you want, or if it's colorized, or if it's out of focus or whatever, then you got to go back and reshoot a lot of the from retakes on a lot of the work. I think initially there was, and I think that's starting to go away. I had a Panasonic HVX 200 was what I was shooting with initially, and it was a great overall camera. The problem was it was horrible in low depth. It was a 3 CCD chip, not really great from a depth of field. You couldn't do pull focus on it unless you had an attachment to it. With like the smaller Canon cameras, Nikons as well, you have a lot more capability. It's almost got a more true film feel now, where even a lot of their bigger, you know, Robert Rodriguez was shooting music videos with it. So with the Canon 7D, 5D cameras, but again, what they don't tell you is they got a $100,000 lens attached to the thing. So, but again, you still have that capability with the depth of field, and low lighting is another capability of some of these smaller cameras. So they do have its pros and cons to both systems. So high budget, big dollars, you know, obviously film and the bigger named camera equipment would probably work. But in an independent world where you want to shoot at a micro budget or no budget, you want to make sure that you have something that's going to give you a good product. Seems just like to me,